my name is Megan Lewis, and today I'm going to be informing you on animal abuse that goes on throughout the United States. When I think of animal abuse, I usually think of a dog being beaten or puppies being left on the side of the road in a box, but dogs aren't actually the only victims of animal abuse. They are 64% of that animal abuse, but 18% are cats and 25% are other animals like horses or livestock. And with horses and livestock is usually cases that have to do with neglect because people that own them don't have the money to really take care of them because they're expensive animals to own, so they're neglected. I found that many situations are connected with domestic violence, and 71% of the domestic violence victims have said that their animals have been targeted during that domestic violence situation. There are many situations that have to do with animal abuse, but I'm only going to tell you about a couple examples just to give you a feel on what animal abuse is and the signs of animal abuse, so you could tell when something is happening and hopefully take action to that. One situation are puppy mills, like the puppies that you see at the puppy store that are like $1,000 because they're purebred come from puppy mills. And these situations are very, very poor. These animals are not taken care of properly, and they are usually shoved, two dogs into one little crate and just get bred over and over and over until they die. And a lot of those dogs have bad diseases because they are not taken to the vet or anything. They have bad teeth and bad hygiene. And a lot of times they end up not being able to eat the food because their teeth get so bad because they don't feed them proper food. They just get leftover food from other places and just mix it all together in a big silo and just feed it to them. So that causes them to lose teeth and get really sensitive. And because they are not brushed or bathed or anything, a lot of times the dogs get matted really bad. Also, thousands of greyhounds a year are killed because of their lack of racing capabilities. So there are organizations that save those greyhounds and adopt them out to people. So that's something that people can do to help save those dogs at least. There has been professional dog fighting since the 1860s, and sadly, when it started, it used to be entertainment for policemen and firemen, but it has evolved into being very illegal and people doing it in the shadows just so they can have fun, I guess. And this is why pit bulls get their bad name most of the time, because those are the dogs that people use to do the dog fighting just because they think it's fun. Another example of a kind of animal abuse is animal testing. And I found that over 100 million animals a year are killed from testing facilities for chemicals, drugs, food, and cosmetics. And some of those animals are dogs, cats, mice, rats, rabbits, monkeys, birds, and many other animals that are tested on for your makeup or your food or your medicine. And that's something that people don't really think about very often because it's just some stuff that we need, but people test on these animals to make sure it's okay for humans, but it kills over 100 million animals a year. So I feel like there should be some other kind of testing so these animals aren't killed. Another example is that every major circus has been caught violating care conditions for their animals. so they aren't very clean and healthy with their animals, so I'm guessing they get sick very easily. There are many signs of animal abuse as well for different kinds of animals, but I'm going to tell you a few of them. One of them is dogs being chained outside to a tree or something in the yard, and they could be chained out there with no shelter, which is illegal. Animals could be emaciated, which means they're very skinny and clearly not fed right. Obvious untreated wounds, such as limping or the animal being distressed, and too many animals being on a property. And this is called hoarding. And some situations that have to do with hoarding, the owners don't necessarily feel like they're trying to abuse the animals. They feel like they're saving the animals by taking them into their home and giving them a shelter, but sometimes it gets overwhelming and they end up making the situation bad because they can't take care of all of the animals. Like if somebody has 49 cats in their house, they can't feed all of them, and cats die and get sick and make the situation really bad for all the other animals. So a lot of times authorities have to come in and take all of those animals and do something about the person because they might have some kind of mental problem. I found all of this information at greyhound.com, humanesociety.org, and dosomething.org. I hope you learned something about animal abuse and will know when a situation comes into your life and maybe you could do something and help an animal. Thank you.